All systems go. Cleared for takeoff.
What is going on, SHIPIT Nation? We are back with another MLB Quick Hit video. I'm your host for today, Hamwich. You can find me on FanDuel and DraftKings in the lobby at Hamwich8. We got some really exciting things going over here at SHIPITNation.com. Make sure you check us out. We got Marley in Titletown doing some MMA, fantastic stuff. We got a nice MMA slate tonight. I think there's 14 fights on the card, so check that out. And we started doing some best ball, and this show is brought to you by drafters.com. Head on over to drafters.com, shipitnation.com/drafters. Enter the code SHIPIT to receive a $100 bonus, up to a $100 bonus with your first deposit. That is for new subscribers only, but I've been in those drafter streets. I recently signed up. I've done 3 teams already. I plan on doing several more, but their best ball product is fantastic. A little different than the usual suspects, but head on over to drafters.com and make sure you check that out. Let's talk about the slate now, where DraftKings and FanDuel split it up. DraftKings are going to have an 11 game slate. That's going to, first pitch is going to be at noon, and the last game goes off at 3. And FanDuel did not include the first 4 games in their slate, so they have a 7 game slate that tips at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time today. So let's dive right into it. And first off, we're going to start with our top pitchers today. I'm going to mention the early pitchers first, just because they're on DraftKings. So if you're playing DraftKings, you want to make sure you're checking those out. But first, let's talk about Garrett Cole being a top pitcher on this slate, on this DraftKings slate. Gets a solid matchup at home against this Cubs team. 7.5 K prop. A little bit of juice on the over. We know that this Cubs team doesn't have a whole lot of power. No, Cody Bellinger's been hot the last couple of nights. But all in all, I'm going with Garrett Cole to outman this Cubs lineup. So Garrett Cole would be my top pitcher on DK for the early games anyway, would be my top pitcher. Coming in number 2 for me would be Kevin Gausman facing the Detroit Tigers. Gausman been lights out all season, gets 6 righties today, been striking out 32% of right-handed hitters over the last 30 days. Really like Kevin Gausman, his K upside. Him and Cole on DraftKings just for these first 4 games would be my 1 and my 2 pitchers that I would focus on, and then we'll talk about some of the other pitchers here that I like for both slates combined. And that first pitcher that I want to bring up, my SP1 over on FanDuel could be my SP1 too on DraftKings. James Paxton gets a pristine matchup facing this Oakland A's lineup. Been horrific all season long. Gets 6 righties, projected righties in the lineup. Paxton's been striking out 31% of right-handed hitters over the last 30 days. They don't have much power on this team, so I'm really going to be focusing in on Paxton. I think he gives us a safe floor, and I think his ceiling is 10+ Ks, assuming they'll let him get to 90, 100 pitches. But this Oakland A's lineup doesn't scare me. Look at the projected lineup, just not much power in that lineup. So James Paxton, overall, FanDuel and DraftKings would be my number 1 pitcher on the day. Number 2 pitcher on FanDuel, and he's up there for me in both sites, right? Even with when you factor in Garrett Cole and Kevin Gausman, it's going to be Braxton Garrett. Really like Braxton Garrett at home in this spot. I don't think he's going to garner much ownership. People see the Phillies; they've been hot. They've been hot on the road, especially sweeping the Rays, winning last night in dramatic fashion in Miami. But Braxton Garrett has electric stuff. Phillies over the course of the season have struck out over 25% versus left-handed pitchers. I don't think many people are going to go to Braxton Garrett. Very easy, very clean pivot for me, especially in tournaments. I don't know if I'd get there in cash for him, but really like Braxton Garrett tonight versus these Philadelphia Phillies. And rounding out the pitchers, a little bit lower on for me on FanDuel. He's clearly the 3rd pitcher in my book is Andrew Heaney. He's here strictly for matchup purposes only. This Nationals team doesn't really scare me. We saw what happened to him last night. Didn't have much pop. I think hit 2 solo home runs, and that was all they could muster last night. So I think Heaney is in a good spot as an SB2 on DK. For me, it's going to be tough to get there on FanDuel, but I do think Andrew Heaney does have some potential upside, especially depending on who the Nationals roll out there in that lineup. So let's cover the 5 pitchers that we just talked about. On DraftKings, you want to look at Garrett Cole, Kevin Gausman, and then on all 2 sites, you want to look at these other 3 pitchers. James Paxton being number 1 for me, Braxton Garrett number 2 on FanDuel, and then a distant third would be Andrew Heaney. Let's move into our favorite stacks next, and similar to what we did with the pitchers, let's do the same thing with the stacks. Talk a little bit about the stacks we might have some interest in the early slate. And honestly, there's not that many stacks that interest me on this early slate. I think the heavy hitter stacks are going to be in the later afternoon. But I would want to touch on, if I was doing a lower owned stack, I would like to talk about the White Sox. I have a low owned stack on FanDuel I want to talk about. Let's talk about a low owned stack I like on DraftKings. That is the White Sox. I think Miles Michaelis will get some SB2 ownership today. I think we have great leverage here against Michaelis. Luis Robert, who hit his 28th home run last night, I believe. Eloy Jimenez, Andrew Vaughn, Jake Berger. Even though all 4 of those are righty-righty, I really like this White Sox team as a low-owned stack. Probably more of a mini stack on DK if I was doing a 5-3 or something like that. But give me the White Sox against Michaelis on this DraftKings slate. My number 1 stack on the entire slate for both sites is going to be these Texas Rangers. They treated us well last night. Adolis Garcia with a bomb. Corey Seager with a bomb. Put up 7 runs. You had to have, or I guess you don't have to have, but you needed those 2. The 2 certainly helped if you were shipping last night. I want to go right back to picking on Cole Irvin. I like this whole lineup, 1 through 9. You can play Leotis Taveras in the 9 hole. You can play Zeke Duran. Typically bat 7th or 8th. Josh Jung having a great rookie season. Marcus Semien. Give me these Rangers 1 through 9. My second stack is going to be the Cincinnati Reds. They've been extremely hot all season long. I love watching Ellie De La Cruz play. Joey Votto having a great resurgence since he's come back from injury. Gets to face Colin Ray in Milwaukee's ballpark. I really like these Reds tonight. Should get him a little bit lower owned just based on some of the other stacks that we have. But give me these Reds in that ballpark with how hot they've been. And I'm not a big believer in Ray either, so I'm all in on these Rays, or I should say all over these Reds. Not all in on the Reds, but give me some Reds tonight for sure. The third stack that I want to pick on, it's going to be the Cleveland Guardians, and they are not a sexy team to stack. Don't really hit the long ball that well, but man, Brady Singer is not a very good Major League Baseball pitcher. He does not strike anybody out. He does not put fear in anybody's eyes, striking out 12% of the right-handed hitter he faces and 16% of the lefties he faces. And his toughest matchup, in my opinion, it's going to be from that left-handed side. Josh Bell, if he's in the lineup. Josh Naylor, obviously Jose Ramirez, Stephen Kwan, Jimenez, Andres Jimenez. So these lefties, I think, are going to give Singer some trouble tonight. And my low-owned stack that I want to play on FanDuel today is going to be the San Francisco Giants. Anytime I can get a chance on picking on this Rocky staff, and Austin Gomber was last night, but Connor Seabold, not a big believer in Seabold. Saw what he did last Sunday against the Detroit Tigers, but I am picking on Connor Seabold. I will have J.D. Davis in the lineup. He profiles very well. He's been hitting righties very solid all season long. So I really do like these San Francisco Giants as a low-owned stack. Wind is blowing about 20 to 20 miles an hour, what I saw earlier. Wind is a little different in San Francisco's ballpark than, say, Chicago ballpark, but it is a little bit colder. Wind's blowing out. I don't think people will go there, but give me the Giants today as my low-owned stack. So rounding out my top stacks, number 1 going to be the Texas Rangers. Number 2, Cincinnati Reds. Number 3, Cleveland Guardians. My 2 low-owned stacks. Giants would be on FanDuel. White Sox going to be on DraftKings. Let's touch on these Red Sox a little bit. To me, they're not one of my favorite stacks. I think there are either 11 games or 7 games, depending on which site that you play. I don't think that you're going to need the Red Sox tonight in order to have the winner. This Oakland A's staff is not very good. I don't think Blackburn is a complete gas can. And with other options out there, I think people will naturally flock to the Red Sox. Me personally, I'm going to stay away from the Red Sox just because I'm not a believer overall in this lineup, especially today versus Blackburn, who I do have a little bit of trust in. I don't have any interest in rostering him, but I don't think he gets blown up today either. Moving on, let's get to our top hitters of the day, and our top hitters are going to come courtesy from our stacks. Coming in number 1 and 2 for me, Adolis Garcia and Corey Seager. I feel like every Saturday I get on here and talk about these two guys. They had tremendous seasons. Both hit a homer last night. Corey Seager, lefty, doesn't bother him against Cole Irvin. Adolis Garcia profiles extremely well against Cole Irvin today. Give me both guys for my top hitters in this top stack. My third guy I want to touch on, I mentioned a little bit earlier, Elliot De La Cruz. Man, this guy's fun to watch. He's got so much power, so much speed, got all the bling. He's fun to watch. He can hit bombs. You can check his bat. You can do whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter. This guy's an absolute bona fide stud. Get Elliot De La Cruz in your roster today. Last, I want to talk about J.D. Davis. Been hitting righties great all season. I think the trend continues today. Connor Seabold is not any good. The Giants will put up 10 runs. That's my bold call of the day. So, top hitters, Adolis Garcia, Corey Seager, Elliot De La Cruz, J.D. Davis. I have Adolis Garcia going to double dong today. Do me a favor, put your double dong nominee for today, either site, in the comments below. If your guy hits a double dong, you'll get a free $100 over there at Drafters, courtesy of Hamwich. Double dong in the comments, get you a free $100. If your guy does double dong, that's what I want to run today for all you people out there. Put that double dong in there. So, once again, drafters.com brought to you this great video today. Make sure to get over there, get in their $20 buy-in tournament. If your guy goes double dong, you'll have $100 to spend over there. So for SHIPIT Nation, I'm Hamwich 8. Have a good day. I'll see you at the top of the leaderboard.